Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. It's Bill, Dennis, and Alan back for episode number 263.
Wow.
That's almost a shit ton. I looked up a shit ton in the dictionary.
Listen, the dogs are so excited about this episode number, they're barking.
They are. Even the dogs are barking.
There
you go.
It's a hair under a shit ton, right?
Just a hair.
Sorry.
Just a hair. Just probably one of my few hairs I got up there. Tell you what, between the three of us, we got like a hair.
I got hair. I actually got hair. So
anyway, tonight's episode, we're going to do something a little different. So, I follow Mitch LaFawn on Twitter because I got nothing better to do. So, he posted earlier this week or last week, I guess it was, the class of 1986, which there are 9 albums that came out in 1986. That celebrating their 35th anniversary.
Well, for the record, there are probably more than 9.
There's more than that.
Okay. Yeah. There's more. There's 9 records that we might give a shit about.
Well, after looking at the list, I can say not 9.
Well, I said we might. We might not.
We might not.
There's a couple of them I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk a little bit about each record and give some stats. And then at some point, each of the three of us are going to talk about what our favorite 3 of the 9 are, top 3.
Okay.
That's the plan anyway. And you know how it works around here.
Honorable mentions.
There's probably going to be honorable mentions, but you know how it rolls around here. This can get off the rails about at any moment. so sit back, hang on, and God bless you, because God only knows what's going to happen. Let's talk about the big news today. So what's the big news of the day? Today is Tuesday, by the way, when we're recording, because we've been recording on Tuesday. What is the big news of the day?
Alan bought 4 Alice Cooper tickets for the Nashville show.
Bill bought 2 Alice Cooper tickets for the Indianapolis show.
Dennis bought 0 tickets for Alice Cooper.
Because you suck. That's why.
I'm not decided if I want to go or not. As we discussed today a little bit, ticket prices are a little pricey, but I would go for the lawn.
Well, now, before you say the ticket prices are pricey,
right?
The link that David looked at was the venues link, and those prices, I looked at those were crazy.
Yeah.
And I bought mine through Ticketmaster through my normal login. You know, I got section 102, which is the seated section in the middle.
Sure.
And I got like row N as in Nancy.
Right.
And those tickets were $99.50 each.
That's not bad. Plus
the Ticketmaster
the rapage fees.
Well, it's interesting. So on Ticketmaster,
oh, you want to go to a show? Well, here we go.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Did you notice on Ticketmaster, whenever you went there, did you know you could click a little box that says show prices with fees? Did you see that? I'd never seen that before. So I clicked the box and I was like, so you know what you're getting screwed for before you decide. So you can.
So in other words, they're kissing you first.
Yes. So you get a little bit out of it. So you don't feel so raped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably it. Yeah. I got 2 tickets.
I think it's something about consensual.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get the yard tickets?
No, I did not get lawn seats. We are a section in from the lawn, but we got like section, I don't know, H or row H or something like that. So we're in a little bit. Actually, White River State Park has never had an has had an amphitheater. They've never had seating like that.
It's usually just a yard.
Seating.
It's
just flat seating that they have, and then they have the lawn out. It's built up a little bit. But we were in a hotel there near there a couple weeks ago and took a picture of it. I looked out the window. I'm like, what the hell they've done to that? So it's got an awning over it now, and it's got seats. So they've done some stuff to it. But so yeah, we actually got real seats. So Lisa will get to see her first Alice Cooper show. And tonight at dinner, she said, I can get to say I saw Alice Cooper. And I said, well, and Ace, and actually Jeremy and Phil and Ryan. Just really
now here's what my favorite part of the tickets that I bought. I'm pretty sure that I have the seat right dead center in the middle of the show. So
that's perfect.
I can be like Sheldon Cooper.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if mine are that close. So
I got seat 17 in row N, which is dead middle of that row.
Is there lawn tickets at that place in Nashville?
I did a little math when I picked out my tickets.
Yeah, they do have a lawn there.
They do. So here's my qualm. I may go. I just saw Alice on his last tour, and it was a really good show. Don't get me wrong. And I just seen Ace recently too, or in the last one before COVID. So it's just like, man, and it's on a Sunday night. It's just really bad. If I lived like with Bill, if I could do like that, go up there on a Wednesday night, be only like an hour away or less than an hour away. Yes. If it came to Evansville, yeah, I'd be right on it. But it's going to be, of course, my Wednesday nights, no way I can get up there with the time change and difference and stuff. Plus midweek, I'd have to take 2 days off of work, or one day, at least one day off. Nashville, I could hit that one, but it's on a Sunday night. So, of course, you're going to get done, I won't get home till 2:30 in the morning, and then I got to work the next day. So it's just, and I can't get off that next day. So I may go. If I do, I'll get a lawn ticket. I don't know. And it's in October, so that's still,
Yeah. One good thing about going to an Alice Cooper show, you're going to get 4 or 5 new songs because it's a different tour.
Oh, exactly. No, Alice isn't scared to put something new or change it up.
You know what I thought of today when I was thinking about that show? Alice is really good about picking up some of the greatest musicians to play in his band. After this tour is over, wouldn't it be ironic if Jeremy, Phil, or Ryan ended up playing for Alice? and then Gene and Ace are like, what happened?
And it
would just be funny and ironic.
Well, I think Phil's already got the Accept gig, so he's that dude's covered. He's got
I just was thinking about that. I thought it'd be kind of funny.
Speaking of Gene and Ace, did you guys see that? Was it on iHeartRadio that Doc McGee said something about Ace was going to be?
I saw that.
Yeah, appearing at some shows point or something. Yeah.
And they even said, hopefully, he said, that it's all, it's out there to Peter too. He said doubts it, but who knows? It may happen, may not. I think the last show, it's going to happen.
They should probably just do Hard Luck Woman for Peter and let it go, because that's slow enough that he can play along. And I don't mean that in a shitty way either. I'm not being shitty about it. I'm just saying that he's.
Well, the dude's like 75 years old.
He's not the same. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. He's not the same dude as the other guys.
No.
It's easier to strum a guitar than it is to pound some skin. So.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. That didn't sound good at all, did it?
No. You got pounding skins.
Didn't quite mean it that way, but.
It's not like you said.
And guess what? I got 0 tickets. I got 0 tickets this week, and I got 0 records again this week. I'm way behind.
I tried to get records.
Oh,
but couldn't find any.
Speaking of concert tickets, y'all know I was planning on going to the Doobie Brothers show.
Oh yeah,
because I had that lawn pass.
Yeah,
right.
It's hanging over there on the wall. Well, I was looking at my Ticketmaster, and I was like, because I've got a ticket for myself, and I got one for Brian Harris.
Right.
And I could see the ticket that I transferred to him, and I kept thinking, where the fuck did my ticket go? And then it dawned on me the other day. Oh yeah, I had a lawn pass. I have to buy a ticket for myself now.
So what did they do with that, Alan? That lawn pass?
They gave us all our money back.
Oh, so you just got your money back, and that was it. They just okay.
I was hoping that they would. I was hoping that they would just like, it'll be good whenever we open again, because I'd much rather just do that. But
sure. At least you got your money back.
Well, because then you could have went up there, Alan. You could have went on I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Fish is there, and then on
Dave Matthews,
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's Dave Matthews. For a week, could have stayed up there for a week.
Oh my God!
Well, I have a free hotel up there.
No, you would have made it like 3. You would have made it like a 2 hours, and then you would have shot yourself right in the forehead.
2 hours? I wouldn't have made it to the parking lot.
Well, I know I wouldn't either. But I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
No, neither one of those bands are not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna work for me either. So
yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
And that's no disrespect to the people who are fans of those bands.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Be fans of who you want to be. It's all right.
To Dennis at agesofrock.com. Just I don't know, flame me.
Any hate mail about our show goes to Dennis at agesofrock.com.
Yep.
Just for the record, he does not know how to check that email, so he will not be responding.
I actually do. So.
All he does is say, "Hey, did you guys get an email? If so, can you forward it to me?"
No, I actually got that account working.
Or my other favorite, I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
There it is.
Yeah.
What are we doing tonight? Scroll up.
Well, I'm just lazy sometimes.
We're just busting your balls because we can.
Yeah.
All right.
At least
you guys want to
somebody
get ready? Get started, or is there other stuff?
We did see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame things, but we're not going to talk about that.
We didn't talk about that though.
We don't.
So
really
did you
care.
see that the president of the Hall
got in?
Well, did you see the president of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out and said that people that are in metalheads or whatever need to relax because there's more than just metal in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and there should be, because all of those people, I'm like, wait a minute, you do know it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? You dumbass. On your personal business card, right, it says dumbass, president of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You understand?
If they would go outside with a piece of cardboard and cover the Rock and Roll up and just say Music Hall of Fame, then it would be no problem. That would be, it's the
Lord
music.
Have mercy. I'm like, really, people?
But anyway, Foo did get in. So
Foo got in. Yeah.
There were some good ones that got in this year. Was it Tina Turner got in?
Tina Turner got in.
Yeah, that's good.
And people would argue, is that rock and roll? I'm like, yeah.
Speaking of Tina Turner, I watched that documentary. I think it was on HBO Max, maybe.
I haven't seen it.
But yeah, they did interviews with her and stuff. It's basically kind of Tina Turner's history and music from icon all the way till now.
Wow, that'd be cool to see.
It was very good. It was very good.
That'd be cool.
There's a lot of these documentaries. I still haven't watched that Foo documentary, and there's another one that I was wanting to watch and I haven't got to see it yet. But
I want to watch a Foo documentary about as much as I want to watch a Dave Matthews documentary.
Oh, that one about the van supposed to be good. No, they're
just
good.
busting your balls.
Oh.
Dave Matthews. Don't bite on that. Don't bite on that, dude.
Nobody wastes film making a documentary about Dave Matthews. It's like, man, it's
somebody will. It's bad, man, but somebody will. It ain't right on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it's not good.
It ain't right.
All right. But no, other than that, nothing else.
First derail.
Yeah. Nothing really going on other than that. I'm just trying to shake my mind here. I don't remember nothing big. Oh, the Motley Crue thing got delayed again.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah. Vince
I don't think that's
more
going
time to lose some weight though. Maybe should shed some pounds.
Vince is like, yeah, back at the buffet.
And I did this diet. Son of a bitch. I got a whole nother year.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to roll his ass down to Paul and let Paul Stanley,
work his ass
I was going to say ride him around for a while, but that wasn't going to come out right at all. And I meant, on that bike, because
Paul Stanley workout. There you go.
Come on, people.
Jeez. No. So Vince, you got time. Get on the Nutrisystem. Whatever.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I think enough time's going to go by. I think it'll fall apart. I think
I know so many people that are still excited about it, even though it's been. And
it's been so long. It was what?
Well, it'll be 2 years.
Def Leppard, and who was the third band? It was
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett. That's it. Okay. Lord.
Well, and Poison too, right?
Poison. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, I just think.
Speaking of Poison.
Hey, let's do our topic.
There you go. All right.
What a great segue. This is all practiced. For those of you that don't know it, we spend no time.
You're a liar.
At all.
Okay, so let's
making the segue.
Let us update. Unprofessional, unedited, uncensored, unrehearsed.
Unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Unhinged.
We are the unshow.
We're the
fuck 7-Up
podcast.
Fuck 7-Up.
We're the unrock and roll cola. There you go.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to talk about the class of 1986. So,
I wonder how he picked these few. Like you said, there was more albums that came
I
out.
don't
Probably
know.
found a list somewhere. Just
Was it
like
this?
I did.
Was it maybe this month? Maybe or no?
No.
It would have been okay.
I don't think. No, it wasn't this month.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Gotcha.
this is the class 1986. So,
All right.
in this class of 9 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9. There were. Guess how many records sold?
Bill knows his gazentas.
Yeah.
I do. Just take a guess at how many records are sold by that group of 9 people, and I'm just talking about in the States.
I'm going
So
to
it's
say
not this.
17 million.
So if it was this year, it'd be like 3,500.
It's not this year. It's not. It's not. Paul Stanley doesn't get to claim.
Oh, it would
number
be.
one.
Oh my God! Looking at these albums. Oh shit! I'd say 90 million.
Oh, 40 million.
Okay, I'm just
40
giving each
million
one
records.
10 millions.
Just in the U.S., 40 million records sold. You're
That's
only
impressive.
over by half. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
twice, 2 times, whatever.
Some of these didn't do well as others, though. I can tell you that
Yeah.
right now.
2, but of the 9,
Let me pick the biggest. Can you got the biggest one or the most sold?
I do.
All right, my guesstimate on this one is the Bon Jovi. Am I right?
That is
Be my
correct.
guess.
Yes.
12,000.
Well,
12
number
million?
2
12
is
million.
probably
12,000. 12 million.
number 2 is probably the Van Halen 5150.
There are a couple of 6,000 ones or 6
Yeah.
million ones.
Genesis.
Genesis is a 6 million one.
Okay.
Yep.
Journey was probably up there too, wasn't it?
Nope.
No, Poison was probably up there.
There's another 6 million one.
Yeah. Probably the Poison.
Metallica.
Really?
Yeah.
A Master of Puppets? I didn't think they were that popular at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure that is over the last 35 years that it's got to that number.
I just went whatever was posted.
True.
So,
So, yeah.
that's what we're going with.
And in the 86, it didn't sell that many albums.
Once the Black Album came out,
Then
their
the
whole
old ones.
back catalog
Catalog.
blew up.
It's like that with
Yeah.
every record, right? If you're
Oh,
down
yeah.
the path, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that too. If you go down the path, then the back catalog gets singing.
Yeah.
All right. How many of these records went to number 1?
I would say the Bon
One.
Jovi record did. I would say the Van Halen record did, and the Genesis record.
You are almost right. There were
I
only
know.
2.
I would say Bon Jovi and Genesis.
Bon Jovi
and Van Halen.
and Van Halen.
And Van Halen, really. Genesis. And that had a lot of.
Genesis peaked at number 2.
I'm going to say
number
because
3.
it had a shitload of hits on it.
Yep, it peaked at number 3.
Okay.
Okay, let's see other. How many of the 9 made the top 10?
Oh, well, let me see where that one wouldn't have made it.
6.
Two.
We have a winner.
What?
6.
6 made it to the top 10.
6 made it to the top 10.
Iron Maiden and Metallica did not.
I would say Iron Maiden didn't make top
Iron
10.
Maiden and Metallica did not,
Okay.
and neither did Tesla.
That's what
Really?
that is what
Yeah.
I just said.
I didn't hear you say Tesla first. Sorry,
Tesla was
Well,
good.
it's 'cause you
That was a
ain't
good
listening.
album, but
because you're okay. You're right. Alan is correct
okay.
in his answer,
And
and
Alan
he
is totally
and he still gets
guessing.
no points because it doesn't matter.
What's that show? What's that show we used to watch? As Drew Carey. Whose line is
Oh,
it anyway?
Oh, yeah,
The
exactly.
points don't count.
No,
Points don't count. The points
We'll
don't
give you-
count here.
We'll give you 50,000 points for that, but who gives a shit? 'Cause it
Okay,
doesn't
how
matter.
many of those were debut records?
Oh,
Poison was.
Poison. Was
Maybe
Cinderella?
Tesla
maybe
was.
Oh,
Cinderella
Tesla
was. Yeah.
No, Tesla. Mechanical Resonance was. Yeah, that was her first album. You're right.
3.
I'm thinking of
3.
3.
All right. So,
I didn't know we were going to have a
highest-
quiz.
Who-
I didn't study.
Who had the lowest ranking record of those 9?
Iron Maiden.
Nope.
Really?
Metallica.
Nope.
Cinderella.
Tesla.
Tesla.
Really? Wow.
Tesla only reached 32.
I would have thought Iron Maiden would have been.
Iron
That
Maiden
was
reached
my first thought.
Yeah, Iron
But-
Maiden reached 11.
You know what? And we'll talk about maybe this a little bit whenever Iron Maiden. This was one of the albums that I picked to talk about because it's one of the owned. But Iron Maiden, this album came out right after. Well, it was Power Slave. Then they had the live album. Then this one came out. So this one would have been on the heels of those two, Life After Death and Power Slave. So it would have had some power at that point. They wouldn't have been.
Yeah, it only went to number 11.
Right. It went to 11.
They turned it up to 11, but it only sold, according to this, 1 million copies.
Right. But for Iron Maiden, that's normal. They're not. I mean, yeah.
Little dip this time. Little dip.
Yeah, I wish I only sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like we're bragging on somebody sold 1 million copies.
Everybody now putting albums out would like to sell 1 million albums, and there's.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, right? Paul sold 8,000 records.
8,000 records.
And he's like, or 8,000 downloads. And it's like, he's number 4, like, or 8 or whatever.
They used to ship them out in semi trucks. Now Paul just keeps all the copies at his house.
He puts them in his bicycle pants. Delivers them around.
Hey, Paul,
I don't know why we're busting on Paul. That's just mad. This is bad. We're just busting.
Hi, I'm Paul Stanley. Here's my new album. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I like to ride my bicycle.
I can't do a good Paul. We need somebody on the show that can do a good Paul.
I know somebody that can do it.
I do too. I know a couple people that do it actually.
All right, let's talk about Metallica. So that's the first one in the list.
I think you're gonna say masturbation, but
go ahead.
We're not talking about that.
You can if you want to.
No, we're good.
You go ahead and you go ahead and
I'm good.
You can talk about that. You can talk about that if you want to. Well, let's leave you alone here. How long do you need? Minute? A couple seconds?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, yeah. Shocker.
Okay.
All right. So Metallica Master of Puppets peaked at number 29, sold 6 million copies. It was the third release.
Okay.
Which is interesting. A couple of these are third releases. I thought was pretty interesting. Last record with Cliff Burton.
Right.
And the singles or songs that were released or that were most popular, according to what I read on Wikipedia, were Battery, Master of Puppets, and Damage Inc.
Right.
Any comments about?
I would have thought Sanitarium would have been higher up than Damage Inc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This album was the album that they were promoting when they were supposed to play open for Ozzy at Mesker, and James broke his arm, so I didn't.
Skateboard accident.
Skater boy.
But I did have Master of Puppets. I wouldn't even go close to it. I'm just not a big Metallica fan. Sorry. I like Metallica in small doses, and I just can't. I don't know. It just doesn't spark my. There's other albums on here I'd rather listen to, so that's my opinion. Nothing bad, nothing good. Just it wears on me. So.
Well, for me, Master of Puppets is not my introduction to Metallica. The Kill 'Em All album was, and the first time I heard it, I was like, "These guys suck." But then, years later, I heard Master of Puppets, and I'm like, "This is badass." So I went back and listened to Ride the Lightning, and then I went and got Kill 'Em All and listened to. I still had Kill 'Em All because I had it on cassette. And I went back and listened to it, and I was like, well, maybe they don't suck as bad as I guess I was just at the time, I was, that was like back in 83 when Kill 'Em All come out, I believe. And, I was just 13 and I was still more of a pop radio kind of music fan. So
you're still listening to Sesame Street and shit like that at that point.
That's right. But,
Elmo sings.
Yeah. Master of Puppets is in my top 3 in this countdown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Calling it a countdown?
We are calling it. We can call it a countdown.
It's not in my. It's not mine. So
cool.
Bill, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, it's kind of funny. I didn't become a Metallica fan of any type until the Black Album, and I think it was because I was really into the hair metal 80s stuff, not the thrash stuff, because the thrash stuff to me just seemed like it was noise. It was like, how much talent does it take to do that? And that's what I thought then. And now when you go back and listen to this stuff, it's like, it takes a shit ton of talent because these guys are really pretty good musicians.
The thing a lot of people don't give the thrash guys credit for is a lot of those guys are classically trained musicians.
Right.
Which is why they can.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some skills. So I did go back and listen to this. I tried. I didn't listen to all of it because, again, I can't. I like Metallica in doses.
Like me.
I like the singles that got put out. I like the songs that they do when you go to a show or you go hear somebody else play and they play a Metallica song. I like those songs, and then, I like Master Puppets. I like those kinds of songs. But it's Fuel and that stuff. But to a whole record, other than the Black Album, is kind of like I don't have any desire for that. So, but
on a similar note to that, I like the entire Kill 'Em All album, the entire Ride the Lightning, Master, Justice for All of that stuff, And one day I put all of those 5 albums together and put them on shuffle. I do not like them shuffled up. I have to
really.
Hear those, I'm not an AOR guy, but those albums I have to listen to either as a song or as an album. I can't mix that stuff up because it sounds weird, and that's just me personally, but that was an observation that I made about Metallica as myself.
That's interesting. Cool. All right, the second album is Journey's Raised on Radio. This is the album that came out after Steve Perry kind of decided to do his own solo thing and went and did Street Talk in 1984. And then Neil Schon had also done HSAS as well. So it went to number 4 on the charts, and it sold 2 million records. And they released a shit ton of singles.
Yes.
So Be Good to Yourself, Girl Can't Help It,
right.
I'll Be All Right Without You, Suzanne, Why Can't the Night Go On Forever,
right.
And Raised on Radio were all released as singles. And I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think there were only 9 songs on the record.
Yeah, and Be Good to Yourself is the only really rocking tune on there. I mean, this was a high. I mean, of course, their previous record, had Faithfully and all that on there. So they learned that ballad sells. So they went high on that coming back. And I think and like you said, I think because Perry had been gone, did something else solo, Sean had went and did his little thing. They come back. And of course, after Raised on Radio, they didn't do another album till 96, Trial by Fire. So, this is the end of basically Journey. This was their last, their swan song, if you want to say it.
The end of radio friendly Journey.
But I think that it was, at that point, it was so frayed, at that point that I'm surprised we got another album out of them. And there's some great hits on this album. Mm-hmm. It's not, Escape or Capture or Frontiers, but it's a decent album, but it's light. I mean, it's more
it's interesting because
contemporary.
Yeah, when I was reading the article about it, they were talking about that this was the album that they had 2 band members that left or got fired.
Right.
And there was no really.
Randy Jackson came on board.
I think that was Randy Jackson.
Actually, you're right.
I was in Journey. I was in Journey. Yeah. Hey, I was in Journey.
I mean, their previous album, you got to think about that. Separate Ways, Send Her My Love, Faithfully, Only the Young, Ask the Lonely. I mean, that was a big hit, record. And then, they followed up with this, and it was, like I said, I don't think their hearts were in it, their minds were in it. They were just.
Well, it said in the article too that the reason it is a much more softer record, like you said, is, Steve Perry had just basically taken over and was
right.
That's why the ballad stuff was, was more rampant in it and stuff like that. But I listened to this on the way home from Evansville when we were there this past weekend. And
how many times you fall asleep?
Man, it was. I'm telling you what, on 69 driving north, listening to that, I was like,
I could fall asleep.
Oh damn! Like, I'm not gonna make it to freaking Washington, man. So that's not good.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other thoughts about this record, Dennis?
No. I mean, like I said, I picked it just because it was one that I had. and it just kind of shows Journey falling apart. It really.
So this is
wasn't.
one of your picks.
Well, it was because it was one I was familiar with, and I mean it's got some great songs on it, but it's just really it's not your atypical Journey, like the one good song, what was it? Be good to yourself. That's a great song. I mean, that's a staple still. When they play live without Steve Perry now, but that song is a great song. I like that song a lot.
I know why you like that, considering your conversation earlier about masturbation. Yeah, I get it. Completely get it. There's a theme. He's got a theme going.
Hey, okay, maybe subconsciously. But no,
we'll see what he picks up. The next
sounds
one.
good. But it does sound really good. It's a good album, sound wise. And I just picked, and I picked actually because there were so little rules on this talk we had. I kind of picked albums I didn't think you guys would pick.
That's fine. Whatever. We'll talk. We'll do the little recap at the end. We're fine.
So anyway, that's why I did it.
All right.
Well, for me, this one was the very bottom of my honorable mentions. There are 2 albums in this list that are not on honorable mentions or top picks, but the Journey one is the bottom of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
But, if it had 7 hits instead of 6, maybe that. No, going back to Dennis's comment about the ballads, there's too many ballads on here.
It is. This is a lightweight album.
But I'm glad to know that not to road trip with this album.
Yeah,
don't, dude. It's a sleeper.
It could be deadly.
It's a bad one. So for me, I kind of look forward to it because I know like 3 or 4 of the singles on it, and then but the singles are really good. Right. Well, the singles of "Be Good to Yourself," "Girl Can't Help It," "I'll Be Right Without You," and then other than that, I was like, wow, this is really not very good.
Right.
I mean, I was just surprised how not very good it was.
Right.
I mean, it just didn't. I didn't hit the skip button, but I probably should have, and that way it would have helped me stay awake by actually moving. But I didn't. So there you go. All right. So number 3 on the list is Iron Maiden, "Somewhere in Time." Okay. Follow up to Power Slave and then Live Record or whatever that came out.
Yeah.
Peaked at number 11 in the U.S. According to the information, sold a whopping 1 million records. 2 singles were released, "Wasted Years" and "Stranger in a Strange Land." Both are songs I think are really cool and I like, but other than that, So Dennis, what do you got, man?
So I did pick this one again, and the only reason that I was going to talk about it is because of what I had said before. Iron Maiden had just came off of, what was it, in 84, they had Power Slave, and then they had Live After Death come out in 85, and 86 they came out with this one here. This was the last Iron Maiden album that I ever bought. I didn't buy anything past this ever, unless I picked up older material. But I'm like you. I think "Wasted Years" is a really good song, and "Stranger in a Strange Land." I think I like the production of the songs in here, but they're just, I don't know. They're just not trying to be. I mean, they try to redo like "Deja Vu" and "Alexander the Great." They're trying to make another, I guess, like "Rite of the Ancient." They're kind of just cookie cuttering these songs up, and I really don't. I just missed it. I just missed the mark.
Well, they talked about in the Wikipedia thing that this was the record that followed the longest tour they ever did.
Right.
And they were all worn out. They all had a short period of time off before they made the record.
And maybe
that's Bruce Dickinson didn't get any songs on the record.
Right.
For the first time.
So Harris basically wrote everything.
So it was all written, by the other guys, and it was just a different groove, and they were, doing more synths and some stuff like that. And
but I have to admit, "Wasted Years" and "Stranger in the Strange Land," I like the way it's produced. The sound, like you said, it's got a lot fuller sound. Like you said, maybe there's a little synth in there or something that makes it sound like that. But
so this is their version of Turbo.
Well, no, because Turbo sucks. But anyway.
Oh, I thought Turbo. You think Turbo's bad?
Yeah, I don't like Turbo. I'm not.
He's a guitar player. That's why he says
Yeah.
Turbo sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a lot of synth
guitar
and turbo.
synth. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But no, anyway, like I said, the reason I did pick this, so isn't my, it's not favorite, but it is one that I did buy, and I was an Iron Maiden fan, and like I said, up to this point, of course, Power Slave wore it out. Bought Life After Death. I had the VC. I actually had the videotape, and I had the DVD of it. And then I got this thinking, well, here we go again. And it's like, well, there's 2 songs I can listen to. It's got to skip through, But and you go past that. I never bought another one after that. So it is what it is. But 2 great songs on here for me.
Well, that's twice as many great songs in your opinion than mine, because Wasted Years is the only song on that album that I know.
Right.
Stranger in a Strange Land, if they'd have done it like Ace Frehley did, it would be a much better song.
But
no, this album is not on my honorable mentions. It's not in my top 3. It would not even be in my collection. Oh, it's not in my collection.
Oh, wait.
I had a cassette of this at one point, but I don't know where it's gone at this point. So.
Maybe it's with Bill's record.
Probably.
Oh, I should look in there and see if it's in there.
No, being a cassette, it probably went to the dumpster, like with all my other cassettes. So anyway.
Yeah, I like the singles, and that's about it. I'm not a big fan of it, so yeah, we can move on.
Right.
All right. So the 4th album is Tesla's Mechanical Resonance.
Okay.
And that is a debut record, charted at number 32, sold 1 million records. 2 singles, Modern Day Cowboy and Little Susie. And there is not much about this record other than that information. So the wiki site was pretty small.
Okay.
So Dennis, we got about Tesla.
Okay, I own this. I bought this CD when it came out. It's a fucking just full of good shit. I mean, seriously. I mean, this
is
this
Bill
is an
Elam banger.
This is a banger. This is a banger disc. I mean, you got Easy Come, Easy Go, Coming at You Live. Getting Better is a great song. I like Modern Day Cowboy is fantastic. Changes, Little Susie, and Cover Queen. There's a couple songs on here I don't like, but this is a solid album, and I would have picked it, but I figured you guys picked it, so that's why I didn't.
I honestly forgot that there were that many singles on that album.
God, it's just
so. Guess what? It just got put up in the honorable mentions. So now
look at that.
Now we're down to one album that is not in the list anywhere.
Modern Day Cowboy, when it first came out, and they had it on MTV, that was kind of it came out in '86. It was kind of like. We've been listening to all this hair metal and stuff like that. It was kind of a breath of fresh air kind of thing. When it come out, you got great guitar licks, but these dudes aren't all makeup up. They're wearing blue jeans and kind of looking like Skinnerd kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? They got that kind of weird look. So to me, it was kind of like, oh man, I like this. It was fresh for me. And that's why I picked up on it pretty quick.
So is this one of your 3?
No, this is not one that I picked,
okay.
But I love this album. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're gonna pick our top 3 out of this
album,
album,
okay. We can. That's all right.
I will put this in my. I'll put this in my top 3. It's a really good album.
All right.
So I didn't know we were gonna do it that way. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. Alan said that Master was one of his top 3.
No, so far,
you had said, Journey was one of your top 3.
Yeah, Tesla will be in my top 3. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, got it. I'm looking at the list real quick.
All right, Alan, what you got, man?
Well, I pretty well said all I had to say
about that. So he's putting in his.
Well, I moved it up into the honorable mentions.
It graduated.
Well,
it graduated.
It didn't graduate, but it got a passing grade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Grade. So for me, it was I liked all the singles. I think it's a good record. I have the CD and I have the LP, so I have it on 2 versions. It's not my favorite, but it did not make my top 3, but it would have made my top 5 for sure. Yeah, I like this record. I like his voice. I think he's just got a unique voice. And
I think
to your point, I like seeing those guys in concert too. I mean, I think they do a great job live, and they sound really good. They still sound really good.
Really good. I just seen them
Yeah.
open for REO, and
Yeah.
they were really good. You know?
Yeah, Keith
He
still sounds really good.
You know?
Yeah, so that's good stuff. All right, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we're to 5. We got a few more to go. We're gonna have to speed it up here, aren't we?
We'll speed it. We'll be all right.
So this is another debut of Poison. Look what the cat dragged in. Number 3, sold 3 million records.
Right.
4 singles: Cry Tough, Talk Dirty to Me, I Want Action, and I Won't Forget You.
Yeah.
What do you got, Dennis?
You know what? I like Poison. Don't get me wrong. I've seen them in concert. It's a good album. I mean, and actually, of all the ones here on we're looking at, I would put that probably in my top 3 also, just because I can't put another one in that top 3. But no, but it's a great album. But it's just, it's Poison. It's fun. It's a fun record. There's nothing, that's going to be, that's groundbreaking or earth shaking. But it's your foot's gonna tap. You're gonna sing along, and all that crap with it. So it is what it is.
You're gonna play Talk Dirty in your cover band until you're in your 50s.
Until you're fucking tired of it. Yes. Exactly.
What do you got, Alan?
This one is in my top 3, and really my criteria for top 3 is I know all the songs on the album.
There you go.
Whatever your criteria is, man.
Yep. Well, I mean, this came out when I was a sophomore in high school, and it was really big, and the chicks dug it. So we listened to what the chicks dug because we dug the chicks. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
That's why every cover band that we were ever in, we did Talk Dirty to Me.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one that come out on the following album, Nothing But a Good Time.
Yep.
And Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
but we digress.
Yep.
No, that's you're right. So for me, this is one of in my top 3 as well. I've liked Poison since the very beginning. The first video I saw, I was like, those dudes are pretty cool. I mean, and talk about Aquanet.
Did you like first?
Talk about Aquanet, man. They had the Aquanet rolling.
Oh, yeah.
But I just to your point, if I had one word to describe Poison, it's fun. Every time I've ever seen them live, it's fun. You go to the show just to have fun, and it's not about necessarily musicianship and all that other kind of stuff. It's just about going out and having a good time.
It's a party.
The last time that I saw Poison, they closed out the last Rocklahoma that I went to, and you want to talk about 4 completely different personalities on stage.
Yeah,
because CC had the long hair and he was wearing some hat, and he kind of looked like a scarecrow. And it was hot out there, and I guess he had been covering his hands in powders between songs,
right?
And his powder was falling off. Of course, you got to keep your hand.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to use the term lubricated, but that's basically what it was. And then you had Bobby Daw, who was totally wearing the dad clothes. He wore a pair of blue jeans, a button-up shirt, and had I don't know how to describe, but he looked like a dad in a garage band.
Right.
And then of course Brett Michaels is the same Brett Michaels we've always known and loved. And then Ricky Rocket was back on the drums doing his own thing.
Right.
But 4 different personalities, but when they're on that stage together, it's one unit.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like I said, for me, it's just something about that group that we've talked before about groups that could exchange members and stuff like that. And they've done a little bit of that at times, but more times than not, I think that they do we're just not going to play it all while we're not really all playing together, except for Brett. Brett goes out and does his own thing. But as Poison, if it's not all 4 of them, it's another band that's like, it takes really kind of all 4 of those guys to make that
I saw them, like I said, I saw them actually at Mesker, and it even started raining midpoint to the thing, and everybody was just like, yeah, there was a night Dokken opened up for them that night. It was kind of cool. I got to see Dokken. Of course, it wasn't George, it was Reb. But
I can't remember. I saw Poison open for somebody, and I can't remember who it was. Was it Def Leppard? Maybe. Might have been Def Leppard. Maybe in Def Leppard
I
and
don't
Poison
know.
that did a summer tour a couple of years ago.
Right.
Because
Poison was actually the headliner of this one, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah, they weren't this one. But the last song they did was Rock and Roll All Night, and they had confetti.
That's cool.
You know, I was really surprised because they closed the show at Rocklahoma with Rock and Roll All Night, and I'm like, because they did like 3 covers that night. I'm like,
Yeah,
really, you guys got enough of your own fucking hits. You ain't got to do a damn cover to close the night.
No shit.
I think it's just an homage to the people that went before them and paved the way. It's kind of cool. I think when bands do that, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So flip the page. Turn the page. All right.
No, there's no Seeger in this list.
No, there's not. That's right. All right. Next record, a little 5150 by Van Halen. The previous record was 1984, which was a monster. So following that up is going to be a problem. It did reach number 1. It also had a number 1 song, which was Summer Nights. Sold 6 million records. Released 4 singles. Why Can't This Be Love? Dreams. Love Walks In, or Summer Nights, whatever you want to call it. And then Best of Both Worlds. Dennis.
Okay. This is probably my least favorite album on the whole list, and I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and it has nothing to do with Sammy. It's Eddie Van Halen had the best tone of any guitar player that's ever walked the face of this earth in this first, through albums through there. 84 got a little bit funky. When he went to 5150, his tone on his guitar was fucking shit. And it reminded me of the old Rockman amps. Alan probably knows what I'm talking about. When Tom Scholes from Boston, made these little Rockman amps. They're just tinny as fuck. They have no balls to them, and it sounds really well. And it has a really digital kind of sound to them. And Eddie went from the man with melting amps to this fucking tinny looking sounding bullshit. This album sucks to me. I don't like this album. I never have. And there you go. Did I say I hated this?
Never will.
Did I say I hated this album?
I don't think this is in your bottom 3. I don't even think it's even on the.
He drew a line through it on his computer screen.
I fucking dug a hole. I dug a hole and put it down a little farther if I could.
Buried that
shit. Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan. All right.
Don't hold back.
Dennis at agesofrock.com. Don't forget. No, go ahead.
Well, for me, this is the number 1 song on the honorable mentions list.
Okay.
And unlike Dennis, the Rockman amps don't mean shit to me because I'm first and foremost a drummer and then a bass player. So, this bass player does not give a shit about what Eddie Van Halen's amp sounds like.
Right. Alan's just in it for the chicks, man.
Right.
All right. For me, this was definitely in my top 3. I love this record. I like all of it. I am not like Dennis. I don't give a shit about what amp came through what and who played who. And I just thought it was a fun record. I like the Sammy stuff as much as I like the Dave stuff. So I'm not one of those guys that just lives in one camp and actually believe that this is one of the bands that you can have 2 different lead singers for and it actually works. Unlike, they had a little problem there in the middle, but for the most part, this went okay. So for me, this is a good record, and I like it a lot. All right, next record on the list. We're down to 3 left. So Cinderella Night Songs, another debut record, charted at number 3 and sold 3 million records. There were 3 singles, Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, and Somebody Save Me. And would you believe that one of those 3 songs didn't chart?
Really?
Yes, I would.
Well, see, I mean, thinking, well, Nobody's Fool did. Shake Me, probably Somebody Save Me. Yeah, Somebody Save Me did not chart.
Shake Me did not chart.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Nobody's Fool charted at 13.
Even with that video with Bon Jovi in it?
What?
Shake Me didn't chart. Nobody's Fool charted at 13, and Somebody Save Me charted at 66.
Hey, 35 minutes and 55 seconds. That's a Van Halen album.
You know what? I started to write that down. I'm like, I'm not going there.
I did. I just looked at it. It says 10 songs, 35 minutes and 55 seconds.
That's exactly right.
That's actually an extended Van Halen album. That's what that is.
Funny.
That's funny. Dennis, what do you got about this record?
Dude, I give two shits about Cinderella. Never have, never will. Honestly, they're okay. I don't own a Cinderella. I think I do own a Cinderella album. I got one, but do I listen to it? No. I don't care. Sorry. Dennis at agesrock.com.
Alan, however, is a Cinderella fan.
Go ahead. I gotta look and see if I got one.
I would like this album better if it was Long Cold Winter.
Oh yeah, well, okay.
No, seriously, Long Cold Winter is my Cinderella jam. Yeah. But this one is number 2 in my honorable mentions. This Nobody's Fool. You couldn't touch that song when it came out. The video for that song was great, and that was my introduction to Cinderella. The only thing that pissed me off about it is when somebody turned off Looks That Kill to play that song. That pissed me off. But has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight. No,
this the record for me overall. Go ahead.
I do like the whole album, but I couldn't tell you all of the songs on it. I don't remember listening to it. And I think when we did that review that one time, there was one song I didn't care for, but I cared for it so little I don't remember which one it was.
So for me, it's definitely not one of my top 3, and it's okay. I mean, it's not a bad record at all. The singles were great. I never could get over Tom Kiefer's facial expressions when he sings. He's got kind of a funny lip thing.
His lips are
weird, and it's not weird. They're not weird. He just has this weird lip thing, and it's just always hard to get over when you're watching the video. But to your point, the video world, they set the video world on fire. So I'm not sure how
I believe a lot of musicians call that stank face.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So he had some stank face. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Probably the biggest record we're going to talk about tonight,
right?
Volume wise, is Bon Jovi "Slippery When Wet."
John Bowie.
John Bowie. Sold. It was the third album in their little group of albums. 8 weeks at number 1. It was number 1 in 7 different countries. Sold 12 million records in the US. Just for kicks and giggles. 3 million in the UK and 6 million in Canada. So sold 1 or 2 records. Who knows? Singles. You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, Never Say Goodbye.
Right.
Good Lord Almighty. How many times have you heard those songs? 435 million.
Way too many.
Every school dance, you had to slow dance to Never Say Goodbye. I can hate that song. Just kidding.
I wish you could have been there to watch you blow your candles out. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because we always dance to You Give Love a Bad Name.
I'll be there for you. Anyway.
That's a wrong record.
That's a wrong song. That is. I was just thinking, it's like, wait a minute, that's
the wrong
New Jersey
record,
album,
buddy.
I like that song, but I don't like. Okay.
Dennis, what are your thoughts about John Bowie?
I've never owned this album.
What?
Seriously, I'm not a Bon Jovi fan, to be honest. If I would have bought any record, it probably would have been with Runaways. I've been with the first one.
That's the first record.
Correct.
Yeah. So I've never been a Bon Jovi fan. Sorry. I do appreciate what they do, and the songs they're very catchy and the very thing. I just never got it. So sorry.
Well, also keep in mind that Dennis is a guitar player, and he was probably one of those dudes that would never admit to liking that pussy hairband shit.
Well, no, I mean, you couldn't stay away from them. MTV, they were on there every 5 seconds. And you watched them, and the thing is, the chicks loved them. So you had to. It was one of those, the chick factor. You had to you couldn't talk shit about Bon Jovi because then the chicks would hate you. But I just never really got it. I mean, to be honest, the best thing I ever seen him do ever was whenever they, started the Unplugged movement, watching him and Richie doing One of Dead or Alive acoustically. That was like, oh my God, that's actually fucking really
impressive.
good. Yeah. It was. And that's what I'm saying. And that made me think, well, you know what? These guys aren't just fucking hairspray and backy tracks or whatever, they actually can do some shit. So, I gave him a little bit more credit at that point, but it's just me. I'm just not a big Bon Jovi fan. So there you go. Alan.
This is number 3 in my top 3.
Wow.
Actually, technically, it's number 2 in my top 3. I've got Metallica, Bon Jovi, and then Poison. Yeah, but going back to what you said, I was in high school when this came out. You couldn't avoid it if you wanted to, especially small town Kentucky. Everybody wanted to be. I like it when Dennis mutes his microphone and then he starts bitching about stuff.
Awesome.
No, Bon Jovi is the COVID of rock and roll. You can't get away from it.
Oh, that is terrible.
That ain't right.
I'm saying they are.
Are you looking for a job as a podcast co-host? We're replacing it.
I'm saying you can't get away from it. It's here. It's there. Back in the '80s, they were the. I'm saying
that ain't right, man.
All right, Dennis at agesofrock.com.
Anyway,
just send the shit my way.
I'm fading.
But anyway, in my opinion, there's not a bad song on this album. I mean, Richie Sambora and John Bon Jovi are decent songwriters, but this is the album that they brought Desmond Child in on. So that right there, they knew what they were doing.
Yep. Definitely broke them, that's for sure.
All right.
So definitely on my top 3, this is probably my number 1. I love this record. Loved it from the start. Very ironic little story about this. The last show that Bon Jovi ever played opening for anybody was on December 4th, 1984 in Evansville, Indiana at Roberts Stadium for 38 Special.
No shit.
And I was there.
I did go.
And the next night, 38 Special was opening for Bon Jovi. I'm kidding, people. Don't get mad.
38 Special was probably at a bar somewhere playing.
They went on and did something else, and Bon Jovi went on and took on the world.
38 Special was huge in Evansville. I remember they used to come all the time. People were like, "Oh my God, 38 Special."
Oh yeah.
Now, Bon Jovi did some opening stuff for after this for the Kiss and stuff like that.
Right.
And then came back and headlined everything. But yeah,
that's cool.
Something like
Interesting.
That.
What year would that have been?
1984, December 4th.
84. I wonder why I didn't go to that.
Yeah, and they actually only did 2. They only actually did 2 shows with 38 Special.
No, I was in college and I had no money.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a Strength in Numbers tour for 38 Special.
Because I'd like to see 38 Special.
I've seen them a couple times. Great band.
No,
unfortunately, they didn't make the list.
All right.
Last one. Genesis, Invisible Touch. Let's see. This was their 13th record.
Yeah, it's not like that.
What
number? Everybody else is like 1 or 3.
Okay, now getting down to what's really important. What number record is this with Phil Collins as a lead vocalist?
I don't know the answer to that
question. Let's see. Let me think here.
Because you've got your Genesis fans that are like Van Halen.
Abacab 81 was that was him. What year did he take over? They had from 78. Well, and there were 3 was in 78. And that was, I think it was then. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums with him. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Hey, Dennis at agesofrock.com.
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to correct Dennis, it's
well,
All right, so it was the 13th record release. It reached number 3 on the charts. Sold 1.2 million. And it was their highest selling record of all. I'm sorry. Sold 6 million records.
Right.
That's how many it sold. Let's see. Had 5 singles in.
There's only 2 songs on this whole album that I know, but I don't that are really not played on the radio.
Yeah, it was the first time a foreign band had 5 singles in the top 5 in America.
Right. You had Invisible
really
Touch, Tonight, Land of Confusion, In Too Deep, Throwing It All Away. That was a 5 that were there.
Yeah, 5
and
singles.
Then Anything She Does, I think, was another one that was kind of popular. But Domino Part 1 and 2 and the Brazilian, that's the only 2 that never really got much play. But a huge fucking album.
Dennis?
You remember? Oh, Land of Confusion. That
music video,
that
Weird-ass
video with the puppets and shit. But no, this is in my top 3. I like this album. I've always been kind of a Genesis. Well, Abacab got me hooked. I'm a big Abacab fan, and I'm not much of the Peter Gabriel Genesis. That shit was just a little far out there. It was
a little too artsy fartsy.
He's dressed up as this big sunflower, and it's like, I don't need that shit. I don't mind Aquanet, but get the fucking plants out of here. But no, I do like this album a lot, and of course it's In Too Deep and Throwing It All Away. Those are all kind of yacht rocky, kind of the adult contemporary type songs.
But Land on Captain Dennis's radio.
Right. That's true. But like see, Tonight, that's a great song. I mean, I just like all that little intricate stuff going on. Kind of reminds me of some of the songs from Abacab. But no, I freaking love this album, and this is one that I don't have. I've got to get this one. I have the one just Genesis itself.
I have this one on CD. Well, technically, Laura has this one on CD.
You could borrow it anytime, right?
Yeah, I kind of merged our collections.
And I do have Abacab on album too. That's
Except for
Abacab.
my Kiss, I keep that all separate. She said she doesn't want that shit touching her.
Don't touch her stuff.
All right, that's all I need. That's all I got.
Alan, what you got?
This one is number 3 in my honorable mentions. Dennis named off the 5 or 6 hits that was on there, and that's all I know on the album. The stuff that didn't get radio play, I didn't know. Because much like Dennis, I was never, well, I shouldn't say much like Dennis, but I was never a Genesis fan that wasn't a radio hit. The Peter Gabriel stuff, what's the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway or something.
Right.
I remember that song, and there might be one other Peter Gabriel era Genesis song, but I couldn't tell you the name of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stuff that got videos and radio play, though, fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, for me, I liked all the singles. I like this Genesis record. Actually, it's one of the ones that I actually have. That's the only Genesis record I have. Abacab was okay, but I just thought they were always just a little bit different for me. I didn't really get into them too much.
This has more hits than Abacab, but Abacab.
I liked Phil's solo stuff a lot.
Sure.
So I didn't, and I actually like Mike Rutherford's solo stuff he did too. So
right.
The funny thing about
is it Mike and the Machines? Was that what his
Mike and the
Mechanics?
Mike and the Mechanics.
Yeah.
The funny thing about some of that Phil Collins solo stuff, I thought was Genesis, and some of these Genesis songs I thought were
you thought it was Phil Collins. Yeah. It's hard to. When I
started running a radio station, I was like, wait a minute, that's the whole band.
Yeah. So cool.
Yep. So that's it for me. All right. Fun. So little recap real quick. So Dennis's top 3. I don't know if this is the right order. I have 4 here for you.
I don't have it. Journey's not in that one. So
okay. Journey. So I have Genesis, Poison, and Tesla.
Yeah. And I would say that would be a good. No, I would say Genesis, Tesla, and then Poison.
Okay.
That's my top 3.
Okay.
Just to make it official.
All right.
Okay.
Since this is going to go out in Wikipedia for all.
Like, who gives a shit? I got 5,000 points for that.
Exactly. Alan is, and I have this right because I wrote it down that right. Metallica, Poison, and Van Halen.
Nope.
Oh, it's wrong. You get minus 4,000
Van
points.
Halen, then Poison.
Nope.
Oh, you get another 3,000 points off.
Metallica, Bon Jovi, and Poison.
Oh.
You're 7,000 points in the hole.
I said Van Halen was number 1 on my honorable mentions.
And it says right there, it says HM.
Damn, you're taking notes too, and you still
so what? Suck it.
And Mr. Bill, what was your top 3? Give us your top 3.
Mine was
right
Bon
now.
Jovi, Poison, and Van Halen.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Suck it.
Alan and I were pretty close, man.
Yeah, I'm way out there.
We were one band
because
off.
we have taste.
That's right.
I don't like fucking Van, I don't like Van Halen.
And if you disagree with any of this, it's Dennis at rock.com.
My mailbox will be fucking full of shit this week.
You'll get 4.
You're a dude.
You'll get 4 emails and they'll be off.
I probably get
that's like, did you get my email where I tried to sell you something you don't want?
I'll get a thing from Wolfie giving me shit about his dad's tone. It's like, God damn it.
How fucking awesome would that be?
That would be bad. That would be awesome. No, I would feel bad, but I would back it up with you got to listen to.
I was gonna say you shouldn't feel bad, You
just take that and go, damn.
But another thing that real quick, I mean, I know we're way over time. The other thing that Eddie did too, though, he was playing those weird guitars. Remember for a while he was playing like the headless.
You're the only one that knows that, dude.
No, Alan, he just shook his head.
No,
he knows what I'm talking about.
I know that the guitars look different.
And those Paul used one, remember, in his fucking show, in his club shows.
His
those guitars shows. Right. Those guitars are notoriously just fucking tinny as fuck. I mean, they just got a horrible sound because there's nothing to them.
They were popular at the time.
Sternberg, was that it?
Steinberg.
Yeah. Steinberg, yeah.
Ask your buddy Todd Howarth. He plays.
Oh, he loves those things. He's got the ones that actually have the body on them.
Yeah, the ones that have the
headless stock,
thick
right?
Body, yeah.
But these thin ones, like Eddie was
styles,
right?
Yeah.
So is that the body glove guitar that?
Yes,
Paul was playing.
Yes, yeah. Eddie played with him too for a while, just for a short period.
And it clicks with Bill. And he's like, "Those suck."
Yep. Now I get it.
You got it now. All
right. That being said, Alan.
It's been a long show.
Roll us out of here.
On agesofrock.com. Visit us on agesofrock.com. Check out our social media and our past episodes. And until next time, peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.